Today, it is health, right? You have enough money, I can buy a whole Boeing, I can buy a Rajya Sabha seat for 100 crore, maybe I can become an MLA for 10 crore or 20 crore, I don't know what is the cost, right? You can buy up the whole building, right? Whatever you want you can you buy health? No chance. You can't walk into Yashoda and say, here take 5 lakhs, get my health back. No way. They can repair you, they can rectify some mistakes, but they cannot restore completely. It's not possible. Only yoga can do that. Even an ill health person, once he starts doing yoga, he will find himself with a vigor which he was never experiencing all his life. Right from childhood, he would not have experienced that kind of a lightness in the body, that kind of a spring in his step, right? That kind of a clarity in his thought, mind you, both physical as well as psychological, physiological and psychological. That only yoga can do. We saw these sutras that we talked about and the explanation on health is not part of Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Patanjali only talks about sthira and sukha as being asana. There he lives. He does not talk about relationship between the asanas as well as health, because primarily you are focused on asanas here. So I have digressed from Patanjali Yoga in order to bring you all those things. We saw the first day how the last session, how important Mooladhara is. Moola is base, the foundation. If the foundation is weak, what happens to health? You have fear of accidents, fear of death, psychological trauma, all kinds of uneasiness. What kind of an asana will you do for that? Forgot? Setu Bandha asana. Because that asana you are bringing your Mooladhara back. And we saw a chakra is the, let's say, transit state between the physical and the spiritual. Physical and the non-physical, if you want. I don't want to use the word spiritual, physical and the non-physical, because you can't see a chakra. Gland you can note. Gland also cannot be operated upon. Thyroid gland you don't really operate. You rectify the mistakes that happen because of thyroid gland. There is nothing there for you to touch on gonad or thyroid gland or any of those glands. But we know those glands are located there. We also saw the relationship between the 7 chakras and the 7 glands, right? So we just saw 2 of them. The Mooladhara is one. The second was the Mooladhara is exactly at the back of spine. That's where it starts and then moves up. The second was Swa Adhisthana. Swa means self. Self place. Self place is between the Mooladhara and the Nabi. Between these two, that center, right? Then comes the Nabi center, right? Manipura. Manipura is slightly above Nabi also, not exactly Nabi. But all these things are not here, mind you. All this is at the back. We are showing the front for you to have a corresponding back. We saw Manipura means jewel center, right? City. Pura is there. Outside is Pura, right? Inner is Antar, right? So, Grahya means house. Graha is inside, right? Pura is outside. Greco, Greece, you know, that word comes only from this. Greco is Greece is a word which comes from the old Sanskrit word for Grahika. Grahika means the palaces of the women folk of the royalty. The princess, right, and the queen, they reside in that place that is called Grahika. Grahika became Greco. Even today they will call that as Greco. In English it is called Greece. As opposed to that, Pura is outside. Right? Outside, not in a physical way here. Manipura here means a city of, because Pura is always a city of all the important things. We will today see, go back, last time there was a correction. That Manipura is wrong. I have put it back. New one, right? This is a new one, right? So ignore the last one because there is some mistake. Sushumna Nadi is something which you cannot see. Again, Nadi is not the physical nerve. It is not the physical. It is the place through which the prana flows. We cannot, it is not nerve. Nerve is not Nadi. Right? When you are, people say doctor holds your Nadi, right? And here he finds sound. Right? Where is that sound emanating from? Is it from this blood flow? No. We don't know where the sound emanates from, because I can hear sound here, you can have a sound here, you can hear here, anywhere you can hear. But it's not the heartbeat. Is the heartbeat? Is the flow of blood alone? We don't know. So, Nadi is exactly not the nerve. Nerve is physical. Nadi is the energy flow centers. But their energy flow center is something which our ancient rishis identified as very key. Right? Your Reiki and other exercises, they are all based on energy flow. Right? They try to control by energy. And energy flow is something which I can control without touching somebody. Without even touching somebody, you just meet someone, you just see him, and I can control his energy flow. That is feasible. So there is no physical contact, whereas now there is a physical contact. Now we will see what happens with Manipura. Now this is related to pancreatic glands. Pancreatic glands, the number one problem today. Diabetes, right? Diabetes is because of non-secretion of insulin, right? But why does it happen? Pancreas is not working well, they say. We don't know, they just say. But why does it happen? Why was it not happening earlier? Why is it happening now? One of the major reasons it happens is because of lack of zinc in the soil. When you are using pesticides and insecticides extensively in our irrigation processes today, in our cultivation processes today, the soil is deprived of one of the vital nutrients, which is zinc. So the food that we consume does not have enough zinc. Right? That results in pancreatic disorder. One of the reasons. The second reason, of course, the other day I told you about how rice, which is polished, creates this problem of quick absorption, because everything we eat is polished today. So that which is polished means the external skin for the rice is removed. The skin is very vital because that is giving you all the protein. Not only it gives protein, it is also acting as a barrier, as a block between moving. You know Bindi treatment for diabetes? You heard about it? Bindi, your lady's finger. In a lady's finger, what do? You vertically slit it, not like typical curry making. You slit it and put it in a glass of water overnight, and next morning drink. What happens when you drink? It's a slimy stuff. Slimy stuff now covering the stomach. So that slimy stuff acts as a barrier between sugar and the bloodstream. Everything is getting absorbed into bloodstream. Now there is a barrier you are creating. So that makes the sugar absorption slow. That's how it works. So any medicine that you are now taking makes the sugar absorption slow. So all the medicines that you are talking, whether it is a natural medicine like Bindi or Methi, number of things, or it is doctor who is giving a pill, all that is trying to do is to see that the absorption is slow. It does not strengthen your pancreatic glands. Do they? Yoga strengthens your pancreatic glands. The difference between yoga and these are, yoga actually strengthens your pancreatic glands, whereby over a period of time you can reduce your medication. So I would never say stop, because that's quite dangerous. But once you are a diabetic for the rest of the life, right? But dosage can be very, very minimal, right? And it will not hurt you very badly if you are going to take a little sweet here once in a while, or if you are taking a piece of chocolate or biscuits which are sugar. Where yoga differs from the others is, yoga is actually the only method whereby you are able to increase the strength of pancreatic glands. There is no way, you cannot operate it, you cannot put some injection there, you cannot do that. But here, how you do, we don't know. there are enough scientific studies. I do not have time, or I am not getting into the research of yoga into it. There are internationally enough of scientific studies done today globally. Some of the topmost medical institute like Massachusetts Institute, like Carnegie Institute, all those institutes, they have done studies about the impact of yoga on blood pressure and diabetic disorder. These are the two major things. So, do not ask me how, we do not know, because there is no answer for how as far as several asanas are concerned. So, the only way of doing it is find out what is the effect. The proof of the pudding lies in the eating. Now, the proof of here is lies in the doing. So, you practice asana, then we will tell you. Right? Invariably, we say in science we have a formula, apple falls, there is a weight, there is a gravity, so it will always fall in that many seconds. If it is a cotton, it will fall much slower. Fine. But here I cannot say, you do this many times this asana for this many days, you will have this effect. It is not possible because each individual is made differently. First day itself I told you about asanas, that you cannot do the same asana for everybody. There are some generalized asanas, all right, but Shavasana, anybody can do that. Right? Most difficult. Most difficult.
You can't stay straight every time.
No. That's easier. What you have to do is put your thought there on the finger, right? And you say, let my toe be invigorated. Let energy flow into my toe. Let energy flow into my feet. Let energy flow into my palm of the feet. Let it come to my ankle. So you now have to go on focusing. You are trying to auto-suggest what you should do. You are bringing in energy through your mind to each part. So if you start doing it, then your mind may not get diverted to others. Right? Otherwise, if you simply want to lie down, well, it's a nice asanas to do.
We had done one session that you remember, Yoga Nidra. That is something like the same thing.
This is the only way you have to do. Then slowly you come down, then you say stomach, now you say pancreatic gland, start working, please work well, right? So you say acidity, please stop, right? You come down, then you come to the this center, this is Vishuddhi, right? This is Anahata. Anahata, Hatha means sound. Unstruck, Hatha means striking. Anahata means non-striking. Anahata Shabda, what is Anahata Shabda? You know, what is what? What is that sound which is not caused? Sound that is not caused. There is no specific reason. If you go to a temple, you strike that bell, then it's caused. You attack this, it's caused. These are caused sound. There is one which is uncaused sound. What is that uncaused sound? Om. The beauty about Om is it is uncaused sound. There is no specific cause for that. It is not the whirling of all the planets that is creating some sound. No. You don't know where that sound is coming from. First day I told you about the fetus. A 6-week-old baby, when it is there in the stomach, you are able to detect it by the help of a sound. Where is that sound coming from? There is no heart at all. At the 6th week, when we are able to hear, actually science has not given us instruments where even the first week we will be able to hear. But there is no heart. If you say heart is creating that pumping and therefore I am hearing, no, there is no heart. It's only a soup at that stage. But still you start hearing sound. That's an uncaused sound. Om's beauty is, we'll go into, when we go into meditation, in Om, you are starting, why Om is very important is your health depends upon a lot on Om chanting. Right? Om is not simply a religious symbol. Same Om in Christian language, it has become Amen. Right? Amen is not right. In Om, I can explain to you why it is Om. It is A-U-M in English. As far as sound is concerned, it is Om. That is from sound to silence. What is happening is sound to silence. This is Laya. Laya is what? Shiva. Shiva is Om. His wife, his consort, Uma is what? Is the reverse. Creation, the sustenance which Uma is, which Shakti gives, is from silence to sound. So when you are born, it is silence to sound. A-U-M and U-M-A. Uma name comes from that. So it is Om, it is Uma, right? That's why they are consorts, husband and wife in a normal language that we talk about. Now, you don't chant Uma, no. You want to come from sound to silence, because silence is our natural thing. Silence refers to the non-physical aspect of ours. Sound refers to the physical aspect of ours. When the physical is stressed in our day-to-day living, even eating is a stress, walking is a stress, thinking is a stress. When the physical is stressed, you have to go for a non-stressed activity, which is Om chanting. Right? So, Om chanting now therefore has a lot more signs. You know what Om means? Right? I don't know whether that's why. You write Om like this, right? Yeah. This is waking stage. This is dreaming stage. This is dreamless sleep. The crescent and a dot. The dot is the fourth state. Turiya avastha. Turiya means fourth. Right? Dvitiya is second. Tritiya is third. Turiya is fourth. The fourth state is not these three states. The fourth state is blocked. That blocking is the crescent. Because it is blocked, we do not know our fourth state. Therefore, we think we are body. Therefore, we suffer. The difference between Hindu thought and other than Hindu, Islamic or Christian thought is, especially Christian thought is, Christians consider us having a body with a soul. Hindus say you are only a soul. You are assuming you have a body, right? You are not the body. That's the essential difference between these two. From health point of view, if you consider yourself as a body, you are not going to become well. If you consider yourself soul, which is an eternity, you distance yourself from health. The distancing is Om. You are silencing. From sound to, you are coming to silence. That means in your Shavasana actually, you should not have body conscious at all. I will know whether I am doing a Shavasana properly or not when I know I am not even conscious of my body. You do start with thought of the toe to head, right? But somewhere during this process, that's only to concentrate on the body aspect of it. But somewhere you lose sight of it and you are not conscious of the body. Have you ever experienced a time when you are not conscious of your body? In your asanas? It does happen, it happens. I have a lot of such experience. Suddenly you find there is no body consciousness at all. I don't know whether that happens in a microsecond. It is not possible to say, because when you don't have body consciousness, there is no time aspect of it. Otherwise, there is no time aspect of it. So, from the point of your health, repeatedly I am coming back, your pancreatic disorder cannot be cured if you think you are a body, because half the reason why you have diabetics is not just the zinc deficiency, not just the removal of the barrier, no, it is mental. My wife is a diabetic. Often I tell her, someday she has a quarrel, once a couple of months, with her daughter-in-law. I said, go and check your diabetes tomorrow, it will be very high. It is always high. It's always high. The second major reason today why many people have diabetes is an extraordinary amount of stress they go through, either from the school stage onwards, in the offices, everywhere, because you are expected to perform, right? You are expected to produce, you have to market, get me a purchase order. You have to buy it at the cheapest rate, right? You have to hire the best possible talent at the least possible cost. You have to produce the least cost. There is always a stress angle towards it. Because whole economy is today based on profitability. Profitability is one of stress. Half the diabetics is because of stress. That stress, if you are not going to get rid of, your diabetes cannot be got rid of. That stress you can get rid of if you are able to have pancreatic gland activated. Now, physically pancreatic gland activated gives you, I told you already that all these chakras are something which is between these two. So, when it is between these two, it is also possible through these asanas, when you are putting your mind away, you do the asanas all right. I suggested that you do Dhanurasana for that, because the load is on that, that is physical aspect of it. But mentally you should also be away. Every time you do asana, please bend with the name of God, whichever God you like. Doesn't matter. You like Lakshmi and she likes Saraswati and he likes Shiva. Doesn't matter. Hinduism is an extraordinary religion. It gives you tremendous amount of freedom. Extraordinary amount of freedom. That's the beauty about this religion. It's not that people are cranky. 1500 years back we did not have these temples. You know that? We never had temples 1500 years back. The oldest temple that we talk about is what? Kashi. Right? Is there a temple there? There is no temple. There is only Shiva Linga there. There is no temple the way we know temple of. That is the oldest. That is, before the temple worship came, we were just worshippers of Linga. Linga means indication. That is between Vyakta and Avyakta Rupa. What is a Linga? Linga is not Vyakta. That means it is not manifested yet. It is not Avyakta. I cannot say it has not manifested. What is the best example for that? Egg. Egg is manifested? No, it has not yet become a chick. Is it unmanifested? No, it is there, it has a shape. Right? No, initially man started worshipping a form which is neither manifested nor unmanifested. Actually, it should be in the form of a egg. It is not a cylindrical object. To carve out stone egg is very, very difficult. So, slowly the carving became more cylindrical. And we thought Shiva is cylindrical in form. It is not cylindrical in form. It is always a egg form. So, the earliest we know is way back even in, I think it is Rig Veda. Somewhere in the middle of the Rig Veda, the mention of a Linga comes into picture. Linga means indicator, indicating that there is a God. This is an indicator that there is a God. But what is his shape? We do not know. Is he shapeless? Huh? All are his shapes. How can you say he is shapeless? He is shape. You are his shape. This building is shape. I am his shape. Tree is shape. That photo is shape. Are there not his shapes? Are they not? Because the whole world is his. The whole world is vibrating. Because every single aspect of it, I told you about particle physics in one of the sessions. In a particle physics is the smallest particle. When you start looking at the microscope, it is no longer a particle. It is no longer a physical matter. Right? In physics, you will learn about matter and energy. Right? Right? Energy is what form? It is always flowing. Right? So, the more closer you go with a microscope, with the smallest particle, you can imagine, you only see a wave, you don't see a particle. That wave you can see in this glass, it can see in this, it can see anywhere. You cut anywhere and take it to any laboratory, you can see a wave. So, it is a summation of all those waves which is God. Right? God is energy. Right? Matter is nothing but condensed form of energy. Energy is released form of matter. Right, wrong? What is coal? Coal, it is a condensed form of energy. You burn energy, you burn coal, which is matter, you get energy. You take anywhere, all matter is nothing but condensed form of energy. So also is your body a matter. So also you are a condensed form of energy. Energy we cannot see. Can you see energy? You know electricity is flowing here. Right? But can we see that? We cannot. As matter we can see. As matter we are able to see our body, but as energy we are not able to see. The Russians have done a lot of work on this area in the field of kinetic photography. Kinetic photography is photography of energy. Right? They took a leaf, they cut two leaves, just an ordinary leaf, they just cut it and put it there. This leaf, there are waves which are trying to join together. the cut leaf, each is trying to go near the other. And they have photographed it. Korean photography is quite a factor. They have photographed people with aura. I have seen those photographs. They have photographed people with aura. I have also seen Abhedananda and a couple of other people, their photographs with the aura. There is no body there, you see only a form of energy. I think I told you about one Tamil Nadu saint, is called Ramalinga Adigara or somebody. He was there during the time, early 19th century, when the camera already came into being. That box with the, you put black and focus. And his disciples said, we would like to have a photograph with you. He didn't want to, he said, no, let's have a photograph. So he stood there along with this 10 of the disciples, and the photo was taken. He went and washed and brought. Where he was standing, there is only white. There is no matter there, because it is like an X-ray. Because this blocks, any photography is, our body is blocking those rays. So that contour is coming. This is what it is. In this case, it is not blocking, it was going through. When it is blowing through, you don't see. Like in our X-ray, when you take a bone X-ray, what do? It is going through, so you see that. Supposing you have an X-ray which can go through even the bones. Everybody has chakra. Yes, it has measurements. It has measurements. Measurement in the sense, see, I didn't want to go into the, each one has a color. In your printout I have given you, each has a color, each has a bija mantra, some are lam, ram, right, yam, all this is there. It's all a little too much, so I didn't want to go into that. But the lam chanting activates the energy. Sound activates the energy center. Not only physically you are doing it, you should also be chanting it. Sometimes you are not able to do physically, you chant. Mind you, the entire temple structure is based on the chakra only. It's your body. Have you seen temples, especially all southern temples? Front is a gopuram, right? Go, pura. Go is what? God. Go. Go is the root word for God. Go becomes God. Again, English word God comes from where? From go. Not guy. Not this cow. Cow is very important for us, therefore we brought that to that. Go sound is from there. The Gopura is the God's external face. That is why it is such a huge, tall structure. Have you ever asked this question? The external structure is so beautiful, carved, seven-storied it actually. So many beautiful sculpture, extraordinarily brilliant, beautiful. But when you go to the Garbhagriha, it is a small room, dark. Why is it so? Isn't it absurd? They could have had a huge idol with thousands of lights lit, isn't it? But why is it that the same scientists who could do, same engineers who could lift such huge rocks, mind you those days, right? If you go and see some of the temples in south, like Sri Rangam, or you go and see Madurai temple, or you go to Rameshwaram temple, you will see an extraordinary, we had such temples even in the north, but they were all destroyed. Somnath temple was one such example that was destroyed by Ujjain temple was one such example. The architectural style was changing, but front was there. The front is Gopura, the external face of the God, which is so beautiful, but the heart is dark. Why? Why is it dark? Have you thought about it? It is dark because it is ajnana. We do not know. We do not know. Until the pujari takes a light and shows. Showing the light means he brings in jnana to us. When the guru brings in jnana, then you can see. Otherwise it is dark. Therefore it is shown. And that center is the Ajna Chakra. Where idol is, it is the Ajna. Where the pujari stands, it is this. In fact, if you take the temple's total length, you will see the feet, right, at the last end and Nabi at the middle. In fact, it is said the health of a person whose Nabi is exactly at the middle, from the toe to this, is the best. Some who have got something up and down, a few inches, is slightly deviated.